And settle back and enjoy it, everybody. Time for us to get you to the hoop all night long here on ESPN. The Zips in their home grays tonight, trimmed in the blue and gold. And on that first possession, the Torrey Patton pass will skip off the hands of Daniel Utomi. Turnover on Akron.
Yeah, just moving the ball a little too quickly, and a good look to try and get Utomi a touch in the corner, but it'd be better if you allow him to get there so he can get set. Just a little bit of a quick trigger there from Torrey Patton.
All right, keep an eye on this young man here. Where's number 22, McKinday London. And as Jackie pointed out in the open now, it's, he's averaging 15 a game, but he's shooting 52% from deep. Excellent ball skills. Shot clock at 3. London's got a hoist. Didn't get it off. How about that? 30 seconds of stout and sturdy defense from the Zips.
Yeah, great pressure out on the perimeter. Hands high, wanting to really contest those open looks from the perimeter, and a good start here for the Zips at the defensive end.
Yeah, so the Zips now, of course, at 2 up and 2 down after that loss, as we mentioned, to Dayton the other night. Got beat 73-60 in front of 13,000 at UD Arena. Duvivier off the shake. Back-to-back turnovers for Akron, as pacing the floor is Rodney Chapman. Chapman with a basketball. That's a pretty look inside, but not able to finish. Probably should have went straight up. James Lewis Jr., the freshman who averages 8 a game, brought the defense to him.
Yeah, ran rim to rim, which was a good outlet there as they found him inside. Really nobody close to him when he caught the basketball, but sometimes, from the philosophy standpoint of teaching the fundamentals, it's a ball fake every time, but he didn't need it.
Opportunities for both Nat Dixon and Rodney Chapman on the stick back. Neither one of them could finish. Third trip to the offensive end for the Zips. They've turned it over the first 2 times. So Jackie looking to find some continuity in their offense. Duvivier off that difficult step-back jumper. It'll stay with Akron.
Well, Duvivier, the graduate transfer. A lot of game experience for him, and it's just a matter of really settling in here. We've seen him really catch fire from long range and has the ability to score the basketball. Just needs to get comfortable and find a rhythm.
Yeah, Zips shooting at 39% from the floor, 34% from 3. Excellent defense there. Kept Duvivier in check. Utomi off the slash. Got it to fall with the left hand. How about that readjustment over 6'10" McKinday London?
Yeah, had to fade away a little bit just to create the angle to get that over the long 6'10" stretch of London, but a good touch there.
Well, Daniel Utomi has really showed up for Akron, averaging 23.7 points per game. As Jackie and I were mentioning as we came on the air tonight, but his offensive game is in full flow. This is McKinday London with that short J, missed everything. Boy, the Zips playing suffocating defense in the early go.
Well, they're getting really up high into him and forcing him to put the ball on the floor. And, a 6'10" frame, that's a long dribble. That's a high dribble.
Yeah, Torrey Patton. How about that? Aggressive, attacked, and floated it home in the paint.
Yeah, quick decision there. You don't want to hesitate, as we saw earlier with the ball fake. Sometimes that can attract more defense. Nice little quick touch inside, flip up and in for the freshman.
Now with that step-back 3 that wouldn't drop, had a good look, did Rodney Chapman. Keeping it alive on the offensive glass. Excellent look from Nat Dixon to find James Lewis Jr. to get the Mocs of Chattanooga on the board. They play out of the Southern Conference. All right, that's, with schools like Furman and Elon and programs like that, as Jamon Ivey not able to corral that pass, and Akron's turned it over 3 times. And an early call tonight, Jackie, for 6'9" freshman out of Sycamore High in Cincinnati, Jaden Sales. And we talked to John Gross about him as one of the freshmen that Gross really feels is growing very quickly in his system.
Yeah, well, he's going to need to. And the amount of minutes some of these freshmen are logging, they're really kind of being thrust into the spotlight here and really having to carry some of the weight of at both ends of the floor. But he's got great size to him, good shoulders, good body to him, can move in the inside, and has really produced some quality minutes for John Gross here early in the year.
Another one of John Gross's 6 true freshmen on this roster. Eric Parrish will check in to replace Daniel Utomi. So Utomi going to get a quick respite. Just 3 minutes and 24 seconds in as Utomi got whistled for that personal foul. So 20 seconds on the shot clock. The Zips have ripped it away again. Quickly pushing the floor, Jamond Ivey. Ivey to the crossover. Strong, beautiful delivery with the left hand.
Yeah, great take there in transition. Protected the basketball to go across the rim and finish off the glass on the left side. And he's a young man that, has really kind of forced things a little bit. Trying to settle in here, and that's a good start for him to just be aggressive and attack the rim.
Yeah, just 24% from the floor. As knocking out that three, the Mox, McKinley London. So that's what he can do. He'll step out on the floor and he'll rise up and fire on you.
Yeah, he certainly will. Does not need much time or space to be able to elevate. And at that 6'10" frame, he's able to get higher than most guys that can get out there and guard him and contest.
Duvivier thought about it. Sails with a left hand. Got it. Oh, you got to like that, Jackie. Off that right block, 6'9", 235, and making himself big.
Yeah, and a phenomenal decision there by Duvivier. Could have kind of forced that off-balance jumper in the middle, but decided to give the little shovel pass and a good little inside-out pass for Duvivier, and a nice finish by the freshman Sails inside.
And we say timing is everything. For the last 4 years, he's been the big dog. Isaiah Johnson, that was the man in the middle for this squad. Now with a shot clock at 5, that take to the hoop wouldn't go down for Rodney Chapman, but the follow will. That's James Lewis, the 6'5" freshman.
And Lewis is off to a good start here, rebounding the basketball and finding himself wide open at times inside. Akron needs to check out and get a body on that big man.
Sails again in traffic. Put it up too firm on that glass, but as Akron's Eric Parrish was banging around, that whistle from Tim Stewart, and that foul is going to go on Rodney Chapman of Chattanooga. Right back, Akron with the early lead. Well, not only that distinguished gentleman in the middle of your screen, head coach Lamont Parrish, but the rest of his staff, all of them have state of Ohio ties to Akron head coach John Gross. Remember Walter Offutt? He played at Ohio State, then transferred in to Ohio University in the MAC with Coach Gross. And, that's just one of 3 for Chattanooga. Also, Aaron Foos and David McKinley. There's Foos and McKinley on the sides of head coach Parrish. They both played for Ohio with John Gross as well. Out of that timeout, how about Daniel Utomi? Boy, Utomi, with his size and strength, he is so difficult, Jackie Winded, to keep out of the paint and trying to deny going to the rim.
Well, especially is because of what he's done from behind the arc. The ability to shoot the 3 balls really pulled the defense out as soon as they get that kind of ball pressure. And as you just mentioned, he's so dimensional. He can put the ball on the ground, and with his physicality to be able to get to the rim, take a little contact, he's just been a handful for opponents all season long.
Yeah, when we were here back on the 18th of November, the 32-point absolute scorching outburst in the career high for Utomi in that the Zips 76-59 win over UT Martin. How about him that night? He hit 8 triples. Also grabbed 5 boards, dished out 3 assists. And what did John Gross say to us today at shoot-around? He said he can absolutely be a man among boys as his career goes along for him.
Yeah, he's really bought in. Spent a lot of time in the off-season working on his physical stamina and strength, and it has shown dividends.
How about Eric Parrish making things difficult with those lively hands for the rip-away? So Parrish brings the Zips to the offensive end. Now on the floor is another freshman, Vershawn Cotton. Cotton's going to unload that jumper. Touched it up but didn't get it to go. So Vershawn Cotton on the floor right now with Jaden Sails, Daniel Utomi, Eric Parrish, and also Torrey Patton. Although at the scorer's table, Emmanuel Olajupoki right now along with Jamond Ivey. That runner off that right side of the paint will fall. That sweet move from Rodney Chapman, who averages 12 points. And 4 assists per night. He's a good one.
He's very good off the dribble, good instincts, and a good finisher around the rim. And he's a sophomore that has really played well under Lamont's tutelage here so far this season.
Trying to flip that up was with the right hand was Torrey Patton, and we got a whistle. And that foul for the Zips got whistled.
I think it was Sales there going over the back.
Sales?
Yeah.
Okay. Sales got whistled for the personal foul. Jaden will get his first respite here. Came off the bench early tonight. Akron by 1. Great to have you along. Michael Regai, Jackie Winden here tonight on ESPN. The moccasins at the offensive end. Chapman got denied by Sean Cotton. Well, trying to make himself big and delivering off glass. Well, that is a real strong move. That's Joshua Phillips. Jackie, 6'8", 245-pound senior, averaging 14 and 7.
Yeah, this is just a second game back. He was a member of their football team, played 2 years on the turf, and is just settling in here at the offensive end. As you mentioned, 14 points, came off of 7 for 10 shooting performance in his first game, which is just outstanding to kind of make that transition and settle in. And it's not just scoring a basketball at high efficiency, as we just saw. Physical player inside, get where he wants to around the rim.
Utomi on the step through. Well, look at the strength of Daniel Utomi. Take it away. So we got an offensive foul, says referee Matt Morales, and that's number 2 on Utomi.
Now you're going to see him turn here with the right, try a little hook there, and then at that last instance, that's that extra little push and just enough of the shoulder. Good disciplined defense there for Chattanooga, but it's going to be a loss here for Akron. We talked about it in the open. Utomi coming in averaging 23 a game, which counts for over 2/3 of his team's points.
All right, Chattanooga on top, 11 to 10. 12:48 left in this first half. We will keep you abreast here for the time being of game score and time. Although there it is. There's our outstanding crew working feverishly to make sure that we have that for you visually, graphically. 11-10, Chattanooga by 1. Now that was indeed the second personal foul on Daniel Utomi, the 4th on Akron. College game on the men's side at 7 in each half. Jackie 1 in bonus at 10 double bonus.
And Akron staff talking to the officials here a little bit about.
Well, they're trying to straighten out who they called the foul on. Now, we had initially thought it was Jaden Sales, correct? But again, certainly that move right there, the one that John Gross is unhappy about, the offensive foul in the paint. Now that's definitely on Daniel Utomi.
That is correct. But the other one I think they wanted to was, at both ends. We had the and one for Joshua Phillips at the other end, and
John Gross is not pleased, as you see.
That's what I love to see, though. A guy that's going to get out here and really battle for his guys, and he brings great energy and great enthusiasm, and he commands it of his players, and he's going to fight for them as well.
Yeah, down on that baseline, Jaden Sales playing the defense, and now he will check out Emmanuel Olajipoki back in. And John Gross just really gave veteran game official Tim Stewart a piece of his mind. And Stewart was listening, as good officials will do. Not overreacting early in games. Shot clock at 8. And off that ball fake and kick it up top. A lot of ball rotation with the shot clock at 1, missing everything. So David Jean-Baptiste. Baptiste is one of the real gunslingers off the bench for Lamont Paris. He averages 11 a game, shooting 52%. It's a very good shooting basketball team. We said that. Offensively, they're very accomplished.
They are coming averaging about 73 a game, and they're shooting at about 47%. And what's impressive is they've got 90 assists already on the year. So they do a very good job of what we just saw, giving up a good shot to get a great shot, and just a little bit of a misfire there for Jean-Baptiste.
Well, Eric Parrish had picked up his handle as he hit the free throw line, and hands reaching in, and that's going to be a Chattanooga Mox foul. All right, we're under the 12-minute mark. 11-10, Chattanooga. Come on back with us. Yeah, it's a night for excitement and energy inside Rhodes Arena. Great to have you along. Michael Reggai, Jackie Winden here as part of ESPN's college basketball. Chattanooga, Lamont Paris, the former. He was here from 2005 to 2010 as one of Keith Dambrot's assistants. Of course, remember that 06-07 season, 27 wins, one of the best. Paris was a part of that staff. There's Lamont. He knew he'd have ultra success. When he left here, he went to Wisconsin and spent 7 years with Bo Ryan. Coach Ryan, of course, a lot of Big Ten championship hardware, and then Greg Garn, and getting his opportunity in the Southern Conference with Chattanooga as Malcolm Duvivier will bury that jumper from the free throw line. First mark in the book for Duvivier tonight. See what Akron gets defensively against the 6'10". McKinday London trying to back in against Olajupoki. The body's banging, and Olajupoki does a terrific job defensively as London didn't get that jump hook to the rim.
Yeah, that was a great job on two fronts. One, the physicality to kind of hold his ground there against London, and then secondly, to just go straight up and force London to try and shoot over him.
Duvivier to rip that triple. Oh, that was deep, folks. I think he shot it from Stowe.
Now, we said this is a guy that is only going to get better the more comfortable he gets, and we saw in the ensuing possession, you know, a little floater through the lane and then knocks down the long ball.
Get out of here. Send that baby away, says Emmanuel Olajupoki, as he took care of that shot attempt from Dwayne Moss. Zips by 4 and looking for more. Duvivier to pull. Got it. Malcolm Duvivier feeling it. He checked.
Yeah, definitely. He's got that little swagger to him right now, and that look about him that he wants the basketball. But I give him credit for, you know, passing up almost 2 good looks there in the previous rotations, and they allowed him to move the basketball and get an even better look.
Well, Emmanuel Olajupoki playing very physical, stout defense down on that block. So London steps out and decides to fire the deep 2. Cold spell right now. A lot of it due to Akron's defense for Sean Cotton. Duvivier raise it up and ring that baby up for 3 more. Oh, yeah, he checked and then some.
Yeah, that last 3 haven't even touched the rim as he's just elevating and zoned in.
The graduate transfer. Played for 3 years in the Pac-12 at Oregon State. Another rip away. Numbers for Cotton. Cotton all the way to the hole. Flung it up and down with the left hand. And Lamont Paris says we need a 30-second timeout.
I tell you what, Duvivier, you know, it's one of those things where you say it almost couldn't happen to a better guy. We've seen him with explosive runs at times in terms of scoring the basketball, but none more so than this right now. Just feet set, getting it to start, and then off the dribble, pull-up jump shot. And as I said, these things aren't even hitting the rim, just catching, elevating, and delivering.
Jackie, he put a lot of extra work in at shoot-around today as you and I were here watching John Gross and the Zips preparing and going through their walkthrough for this one. I don't know, though, that with John Gross's shoot-around, I'm not sure the ankles aren't taped. It's more than a walkthrough. At times, I think they're going about 90%. when Coach Gross has him on the floor game day.
Well, he commands a lot of his guys, and especially as they're, so young and so new and trying to get adapted to the system. But as you mentioned, Duvivier is just quietly kind of stepping in and filling the role, and Akron's going to need that. They've got Utomi on the bench with 2 fouls, and they need some other guys to really step up, and the graduate transfer's delivering.
Jamond Ivey just took a charge. McKinday London bowled him over. Watch it.
Good communication there on the screen by Ivey. They're going to switch it, and London had nowhere to go but through him.
All right. You keep finding Duvivier on this offensive set?
Absolutely. Well, they're not, it's by design. Guys are going to get touches and have the ability to create a little bit. And Duvivier, I think, is a smart enough player, has enough experience where he's not going to start to force things, but play within himself. And when he gets an open look, he'll fire.
Zips got hit with an offensive foul. That's a young freshman, Vershawn Cotton. Originally out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but he prepped at Hillcrest Prep School out in Phoenix, Arizona. Led his squad to a 33-win campaign last year. About 15 minutes of playing time in the Zips. First 4 games of the year. Now the steal by Jamond Ivey. Ivey's going to pull it out. So John Gross said about Jamond, he said, just let's be smart. Maybe take some better shots. There was able to give a good look to Eric Parrish, who was off the mark. Akron's lead is 11 at 22-11. We're inside the 9-minute mark. Parrish with strength, and he got that up and down. Joshua Parrish. You said he's a football player, huh?
I tell you, he's, I think, a defensive end is what he ended up being. With their radio guy, Jim, shared with us before. But, yeah, he's got great mobility and strength. But how about this guy?
Malcolm Duvivier said, yeah, I'm going to stay scalding, as he launched and laced yet another 3. He's got 13. He's 3 of 3 from deep. When you get graduate transfers to bring them in your program, as the football defensive end, Joshua Phillips working around the rim for the bucket. Jackie, it's sometimes it's hit and miss. You bring them in the program for 1 year. You expect a lot. You want leadership. You want help to guide a young basketball team. And let's be honest, too, you need production. I mean, you're going to bring them for 1 year, you got to have production.
That's it. And it's a matter of just settling in. You're really getting comfortable into the game speed of the system, and nice rebound.
Jaden Sales, big and strong, working on that glass, going right back up on the tin, and he's going to get to the free throw line when we come back inside the 8-minute mark. Malcolm Duvivier, Akron Zips fans. Vershawn Cotton on that drive, but Duvivier has been scalded. Duvivier started to really catch fire for the Akron offense.
He's 5 of 7 from the floor and 3 from 3 for long range. Comes in averaging just 9.7 per game, but already 13 of Akron's 25 here to start. And, a result of that, though, is not just shooting the ball, but taking good shots. He's really zoned in and hasn't forced too many looks, but just taking what the defense has given him and knocked down some big shots here.
Jaden Sales, another one of John Gross's freshmen at the free throw line. I say, hey, look, timing is everything. So he follows another Cincinnati product. Of course, MAC Player of the Year, first team MAC last couple of years, the big dog, Isaiah Johnson, who is now playing professionally in Europe. This is Jaden Sales, sturdy, rugged, 6'9". Now, these are young pups that John Gross has brought in, all of them 6 true freshmen. As you take a look also at another freshman, Mark Kostelak. Kostelak, you Cleveland High School hoop fans will remember him. Played for Notre Dame Cathedral Latin and then to the IMG Academy down in Florida. So Akron's got a 12-point advantage. Oh, they're playing terrific defense. In fact, let's look at how good Akron's defense has been, Jackie Wyndon.
Yeah, they've been swarming at both ends of the floor, but doing a great job here at the defensive end, as we're going to see. Just hands and deflections. The activity is what has been impressive, and just getting out and passing lanes, blocking shots, just getting involved at both ends. You see the dive in there, the dig on the big, and
there's more D. We got back live, and that's going to be a technical foul on Lamont Paris. Boy, he came exploding off his bench. as he thought that there was contact there, as Mark Kostelnak rejected that shot in tight. As trying to go to the rim there was James Lewis, and the technical foul on former Zips assistant coach Lamont Paris.
Yeah, well, we saw it earlier. We talked about the passion out of John Gross, and now we're seeing out of Lamont Paris. You know, you've got two young programs. We know the youth that Akron has. Well, Chattanooga has the youngest team in the country.
Yep.
Average age 19.3, I think is what it is. I mean, this is a team that, you know, coaches are going to be out here and they're going to be passionate for. They want their guys to execute, and when they feel like they're getting bumped or messed with a little bit, they're going to go to battle for. So, you know, I like the fire. I like the energy, and we'll see if it can get his young squad a little bit rejuvenated here to try and cut into this 14-point Akron lead.
After Jamond Ivey hit a pair of free throw makes. DeVivier to step back. Couldn't stick. That was a tough jumper there.
Yeah, it was. Almost had to jump sideways to try and elevate over the defense.
So the Akron lead is 14. And that defense has been clawing, and they forced 7 turnovers in the early going. Kostelnak said, "Get that out of here," as he sent away that opportunity, but that's going to be an offensive foul as Zips on the other end. Well, Kostelnak just told Nat Dixon, you got to take that somewhere else.
I tell you what, gives up baseline. You see him just slide along and absolutely just pin that one up off the glass, and then Ivy just off the right shoulder, and give credit to Foreman for taking the charge.
Partner, do you think that bigs that can reject shots protects the rim? Timing, anticipation more than anything else?
Absolutely, and that was a nice job of, you know, I mean, he had the baseline. He had green light in front of him, and a nice job there of moving and repositioning himself to go up and time it up off the delivery and pin it off the glass.
But off the ball, that Akron foul is going to be called on Torrey Patton. So right now it's Torrey Patton, Jamond Ivey, Daniel Utomi, Malcolm Duvivier, and Mark Kostelnak. So 3 of the starters on the floor. 7th team foul Akron, so 1 in bonus time. And connecting on the first is Rodney Chapman. This is a good look at point guard, folks. Just a sophomore. Lamont Paris starts 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior. There's only 1 senior in his top. Well, there's only 1 senior on the roster. Only 1 senior in his top 10 that play, and that's Joshua Phillips. That long triple won't fall for Jamond Ivey, and now it's going to be an Akron foul again. I think it's going to be back-to-back fouls are going to be called on freshman Torrey Patton.
Yeah, Ivy's going to extend here for the 3, and you get the long miss here, and Patton trying to track it down, but runs right into Dwayne Moss, who came up holding his back a little bit.
Let's check that. That Akron foul will be whistled on Mark Kostelnak. So again, I mean, you know, you're getting used to all these Zips freshmen, precocious youngsters. For John Gross, for Sean Cotton, Eric Parrish, Jaden Sales, Torrey Patton, Mark Kostelnak, and of course, Sheena Badabo as well. Now, Badabo hadn't played as of yet. But 6 of them, true freshmen, John Gross recruited and brought into the program. Utomi got hand checked. Well, right now, Jack, we're in one of those stretches. Just the whistles are coming fast and furious. And honestly, almost every trip down the floor on both ends.
Yeah, well, this is, and it's really no surprise. You talk about wanting to be physical, attacking off the dribble as Utomi, and draws the contact. And with, as we talked about, the passion of both coaches here. And, you know, Lamont draw the technical, but John was pretty fired up earlier as well. And you got both teams now kind of raising their level of intensity and physicality, and
exactly on point. That's why it's no surprise to me. As you told me it's his first, you just laid it out. John Gross was up and campaigning. Lamont Paris got him with a technical, and have you noticed, since Paris technical, this is starting to be called much tighter. There's no question about that.
Yeah, put the pressure back on the stripes a little bit and, elevate the game.
You know how that rolls.
Absolutely. And so you're going to get to, put a little more air in the whistle to kind of bring the game back down a little bit to just get into play basketball. But, I like the energy and love the passion out of both programs. You got 2 new coaches and 2 young teams that are just scrapping to get after it. And
you told me up high as Daniel certainly could soar with those lively legs. Took off the missed 3 from Rodney Chetton for Sean Cotton back on the floor. Cotton trying to play 2-man with Kostelnak. Kostelnak with a jump hook left it on the side of the iron.
Yeah, it was a nice look to find him inside, but he caught the basketball a little bit out of position.
Now the rip away from Jamond Ivey. And Ivey got tripped by McKinday London as London is back on the floor.
It all started with Ivey being out aggressive in passing lanes, and that's really been kind of the theme here for Akron at the defensive end of the floor. And this is a team that played well at Dayton, especially in that first half, but really struggled offensively in the second half. So what do you focus on coming back here? Not your offense and not really trying to force the issue, but buckling down at the defensive end and really trying to create some easy offense out in transition. That's exactly how Akron has responded.
And Jamond Ivey connects on his first. 6'5" junior, Glenville High School, Glenville Academy on the east side of the city of Cleveland. We got another whistle as this time, Akron off that left block on the rebounding side, as that's going to get whistled on Eric Parrish. Now there's an example of what I was talking about. Now, in the early go, that was the 3 officials were letting the players play physical. They allow a lot of banging and bumping, but that's certainly slowed down now.
That's it. And I thought Eric Parrish did a good job of actually elevating and just trying to go straight up there to come down with the offensive rebound, or at least keep the possession alive.
So Malcolm DeVivier is going to get a respite. DeVivier, of course, with the tremendously hot start tonight. 5 of 8 from the floor, 3 of them triple hits. He's got 13 of Akron's 31 on the board. And at the free throw stripe is James Lewis. Lewis able to connect. He got one more coming.
This will be a good test for Utomi, who checked back in, is sat a little bit there on the bench with 2 fouls and comes back into a game where it's been called a little bit tighter here over the last several minutes. It'll be interesting to see how the sophomore plays with 2 fouls.
Lewis will connect. James Lewis, who averages 8.5 points and 5 boards. We approach the 5-minute mark. So great to have you along tonight out of Rhodes Arena. This is the Zips opportunity, and Vershawn Cotton. Well, Cotton has got the quicks, Jackie, but we've noticed, at times he looks to make that first move and gets hit with a travel.
Yeah, he's one that's really trying to create off the dribble instead of just kind of moving the basketball a little bit left to right and allowing the offense to move a little bit, waiting for maybe a ball screen, but just trying to create there in the open floor and really didn't have anywhere to go with the basketball.
Parrish off the block. Boy, that tough jump hook, and there's your whistle on minimal contact on Emmanuel Olajupoki.
And did a nice job, I thought, of holding his ground and drew a little bit of contact there with the left arm as Phillips tried to kind of turn over his left shoulder to score it.
So Phillips, good look at this young man. 245 pounds, the only senior on this roster who, in it tonight, averaging 14 a game for the Mocs, who are 3-3. And again, they play in the Southern Conference. Mercer was selected in the preseason to win it. Samford, Furman, East Tennessee State, North Carolina, Greensboro, Wofford, the Citadel, Western Carolina, and VMI. Those are your 10 that play in the Southern Conference, along with this Chattanooga squad. 31-19. Akron by 12. Cotton. Ivy to unload off the step back. Jamon got his own rebound. A fresh 30-second shot clock for the Zips. Ivy, that's a real tough, twisty jumper that's right there. Did he ever see the rim on his fade, Jackie?
I'm not sure. Maybe out of the left eye on the turn, but I tell you what, this is the best we've seen him look. I think he's really played within himself so far today and kind of just taking what the defense gives him and contributing and really trying to get involved with all four guys offensively.
A clean look at three won't fall from David Jean Baptiste. Utomi thought about hoisting that quick triple. Well, Utomi along with Ivy. Daniel Utomi, so strong and able to deliver from about 4 feet out right in front of the rim.
Well, he checked back in with about 5:50 to play and not sure how he'd handle playing with 2 fouls, but good control there to pull up and shoot as opposed to taking that one extra dribble where the second line of defense was waiting for him.
Another Zips rip away. Look at the quicks of Cotton. Give it up to Utomi. Couldn't finish off glass. Daniel said, I thought I had myself a chippy, but it wouldn't go down there.
Yeah, a little too delicate there to finish up off the rim, but good aggressive take.
The lead is 16, and this has a lot been about Akron's ability to play outstanding defense. That triple is launched and laced by McKellar Foreman. The sophomore out of Kingsport, Tennessee. No hesitation there. He fired and filled it. And John Gross wants a timeout. All right, the Akron lead is at 13. It's been as high as 17 tonight. And it's a full timeout, so we'll take it with John Gross. Akron with a big lead. Putting down those good sounds, right? The University of Akron basketball pep band here inside Rhodes Arena tonight. Zips shooting impressively. They're shooting 54% at 12 of 24 from the floor. 12 of 22. Check that from the floor. They have tripled 3 times tonight. And I like the job they're doing on the glass, Jackie. They're out rebounding Chattanooga by 4. And 7 turnovers inside the 3-minute mark. Not bad. I think John Gross, in that 12-14 range a night, he'd accept that.
Well, they had 3 of them on the first 4 possessions, so really I think it's an outstanding stat for what they've done since those first couple of transitions to start the game, but have really settled in here offensively.
You told me he had a big offensive board, but then Jaden Sales not able to handle that bounce pass from Eric Parrish. So there's the Zips' 8th turnover. They try to give themselves an extra possession. That's a pretty delivery with the left hand. Real nice take from David Jean Baptiste, who averages 11 a game. And Chattanooga on a mini run right now to cut it down to 11.
Yeah, well, Akron's had some good looks here at the offensive end. You just need to regroup. And with Duvivier back in the basketball game, look for him to get involved.
A step-back jumper from Daniel Utomi came up short. Now Lamont Paris and his Mocs of Chattanooga can do more damage here. Well, look at stepping out and making that rip. Eric Parrish, as he tried to hard drive to the hole. He got it stripped from behind by McKellar Foreman. So keep it with Akron. Daniel Utomi to get a respite. Jamon Ivy is back.
Good hustle play there by Foreman to run down Parrish and save the easy layup in transition.
Malcolm Duvivier, as Jackie mentioned, back on the floor. Duvivier with that hot hand with 13, including 3 of 3 from deep. Duvivier, 2-man action with Sales. The freshman picked it off the deck, said, I might as well put it in the hole.
Yeah, he bailed Duvivier out there as Duvivier tried to thread the needle through a double team, but give Sales credit, went down on the floor to go get it and gathered it up and finished.
We like Jaden Sales, Jackie and I. We let John Gross know that at shoot-around today. He looked at it and said, yeah, long-term, yeah, I like him too. As that jump hook went down for Joshua Phillips. Jackie, by that I took, long term. He'd probably say that about all 7 of his freshmen, that they've got a lot to learn and a long way to go, but he likes his freshman class. No doubt about that.
He really does. Well, I think they've been receptive. They're buying in. They're starting to believe, and they're allowing themselves to be taught a little bit. And
look at this flurry, huh? Sean Cotton was flying around the rim, and Eric Parrish. There's 2 more freshmen. The 6'6" Frost wound up with the offensive board and got the bucket.
The best part about this is it's guys taking advantage of opportunities, and they're active at both ends of the floor and have really stepped up nice for John Gross here tonight.
All right, the shot clock is off now with 10 seconds left. The Mocs of Chattanooga can use it all. 5 left in the first half. 2 left. Phillips to raise up and ring up that deep jumper to end the first 20 minutes of basketball. A strong offensive first half for the Akron Zips. They shoot 50% from the floor, 50% on threes, out-rebound the Mocs of Chattanooga by 7, and lead at 39-28. Jackie Wyndon and I will tell you more when we start halftime out of Rhodes Arena next. All right, let's go. Second half of action starting here inside Rhodes Arena. Always delighted you join us here on ESPN. College hoops. What could be better here? The latter stages of November. It's about a month away from Mid-American Conference play for the Zips. That jump hook from McKinday London didn't go. And so the same starting 5 for John Gross on the floor to start this second half. Jamond Ivey, Daniel Utomi, Emmanuel Olajupoki, Malcolm Duvivier, and the freshman Eric Parrish. Great look to Olajupoki, who rocks that rim. Excellent ball movement, Akron.
And a great inside feed there by Ivey. Talked about his decision-making in the first half. He's really started to settle in, and that was a great example of it here to start the second half.
This is Chapman, Lamont Paris's point guard. Michaele Foreman trying to step back and find James Lewis, and that Akron foul is going to be called on Emmanuel Olajupoki, and on Olajupoki, that's his 3rd person.
Yeah, nice job of just reading the defense there as they collapsed on Ivey, and a little dump pass in, and an easy finish for Olajupoki.
So Jaden Sales will check back in. Sales, a 6'9" freshman. Not a Cincinnati. Sales 6 points in the first half. Just underway, a minute into the second. Michael Regai, Jackie Wyndon, and you here inside Rhodes Arena. Now launching that jumper that was far too long was James Lewis.
And that's exactly what Akron's going to want to do. You can see him almost playing off of him a little bit to really try and make things a little bit more congested for London inside.
Attacking the rim was Daniel Utomi as the freshman Eric Parrish hit the deck. On the Mocs of Chattanooga, Chapman high off the glass. That putback wouldn't fall as flying around the rim was Lewis. Duvivier. You notice how much tighter the Moccasins D playing Duvivier. That long-range 3, very short from Daniel Utomi.
Yeah, good close out there by Chapman at the end, and you almost saw Utomi fade away a little bit. Came up short from long range.
Yeah, Rodney Chapman, who wears number 1, runs this offense. McKinday London at 6'10", averages 15 a game, got his pocket picked.
Yeah, and this is a guy that only played 8 minutes in the first half with 3 fouls, so certainly trying to get him going at the offensive end.
Strong finish for Daniel Utomi as London did not apply much resistance with those 3 personal fouls. First bucket for Utomi. Daniel's got 9. He leads the Zips at 23 points per game. Chapman with a triple, and he'll rattle that home from deep. So Rodney Chapman averages 12.5 points a game and shoots 38% from threes. Off to a good start for Lamont Paris. Paris played his college basketball, of course, at the College of Worcester. You certainly remember Lamont. Excellent guard in his own right. Zips got sloppy and turned it over. off that show and go. Getting contact late from Jaden Sales was Nat Dixon. And Dixon will get to the free throw line, or do they call that a foul on the floor?
Nice pump fake, and freshman Sales elevated to try and block a shot. Nice pump fake there for Dixon. But this is the last two possessions, what we just saw with the careless turnover at the offensive end, and then a little bit of a mental breakdown here by the freshman to bite on the ball fake. These are the little things that, you know, will start to mount, and that's really what this John's trying to do with his team is, you know, you want to extinguish and really kind of play through some of these small lapses.
Yeah, John Gross going to his bench right now. He's going to send in Mark Kostelnak along with Vershawn Cotton and Eric Parrish, so the three freshmen check in. Jamond Ivey and Torrey Patton and Jaden Sales to grab that rest on the Zips bench. Biggest lead of the night, 16 for the Zips. Inside the 4-minute mark in the first half. Back down to 10 here. Duvivier, Kostelnak, Utomi, Cotton, and Parrish. The 5 for John Gross. Kostelnak on the back down. Trying to attack that bucket was Parrish. Duvivier had a real good look. Too firm on that 3. The Zips try to transition that floor defensively and got back on that secondary defensive recovery. 4 minutes into the first half. Rip away for Vershawn Cotton. Forced a turnover on Chapman. Well, Parrish thought about it.
You know, I'm sure that's one of the things they talked about with, you know, we mentioned earlier, they're struggled a little bit in the second half with the offensive output and working within the system, taking good shots. And
anticipating there is Rodney Chapman. Great steal for him, and then the run to the hoop at the other end. And John Gross says, wait a minute now, that 16-point lead has been cut in half. John Gross will get the timeout inside the 16-minute mark. 43-35, Akron's lead is 8. And we'll send it a break with that Emmanuel Olajupoki throw down for Akron. John Gross wanted to have a chat with his young basketball squad as the lead has dwindled down to 8. This is a very offensively strong Chattanooga Moccasin squad from the Southern Conference. Jackie and I told you about that and have throughout this one tonight. That this offense for Lamont Paris, the former Akron Zips assistant coach, is one that, you know, they can put up points in bundles, and when they get it going, they certainly have 6 players that are capable of averaging double figures a night. Utomi off the spin. That's rejected by the football defensive end, Joshua Phillips. So now the Mocs can cut into this Akron lead, Jackie. Get it down to 6, maybe down to 5 here on this trip.
Yeah, Akron looking to buckle down a little bit defensively.
Chapman's floater never got to the rim, and now, you know, John Gross took that last timeout, so this is the under 16-minute media timeout. I thought they might meld them together. They have not. We'll be right back to Rhodes Arena. Back inside Rhodes Arena, there's a former Akron assistant. We've been telling you a lot about him all night. Lamont Paris and Walter Offit and 2 other assistants on this staff. Very close relationships with John Gross. And their defense has started to pick up, Jack.
Absolutely. A little bit of carelessness by Akron early in the half and a couple errant passes, and then just some easy buckets in transition as they're being physical inside as Akron came right out of that last time out to go inside to Utomi, which is a great place to get the ball. But, you know, give Chattanooga a little credit, a little reflection of their coach here. Get down and roll your sleeves up and get after it a little bit.
Now Akron to the offensive end. You told me off the slash. A lot of contact there. Daniel's got such a strong upper body. He displaces folks. And then he dropped in that short leaner.
Yeah, well, I give him credit for coming to a stop, though. I think, sometimes officials want to bite on that, but he did a nice job of gathering himself and a little bit of contact, but didn't quite go through the defense.
Daniel, you told me, uses the jump stop. So to gather himself and use that real strong upper body to his great advantage.
Well, body control is everything, and looks like we're going to get
Mark Kostelnak, 44, right there on the hold.
Yeah, trying to make the swim move across to get in front of Phillips, who's just been outstanding at the offensive end. 5 for 5 from the floor for 11 points. He's now Phillips 12 of 15 from the floor. High efficiency. So Kostelnak trying to make the swim move to get in front and really try to force the lob over the top.
Mark Kostelnak at 6'11". Well, trying to save to no avail was Nat Dixon off his hands and out of bounds. Turnover. Chattanooga.
That just drives coaches nuts. Make that skip pass, send it to the second row. Really an unforced error right there. And when you're trying to get back into the basketball game, you've got to value the basketball.
Malcolm Duvivier, the graduate student, running this offense. Jamond Ivey to pull the trigger and stick it. Good sign for Jamond.
Absolutely. I've said this a couple times for him tonight, but I think his decision-making and what he's trying to do offensively has been really good. Did a nice job with the pull-up jumper there to take what the defense gave him. Not trying to force it. Right,
9 points in 22 minutes, Jackie, and shooting 3 of 5 from the floor. So
that goes back to that decision-making and not trying to force it.
That long-range triple from Nat Dixon goes. So Dixon rings the bell for Lamont Paris.
That's his first field goal of the game. Came in averaging almost 11, but Akron is really locked in on him at the defensive end. And
yeah, you're right. He's been a very strong shooter to begin this year. Averaging almost 11 a game on 52% from the floor. Duvivier to unload. Off that back heel a little bit too firm. Use that Mark Kostelnak ball screen to free himself. Akron by 9 as we're approaching the 13-minute mark. So it's about 7 minutes deep into the second half as Akron Zips looking for their 3rd win of the year, and this is their 4th outing. Oh, that shot clock running down. No problem at all, says McKelly Foreman. Foreman strokes the triple.
Yeah, well, you knew it was just going to be a little bit of a matter of time before Chattanooga started to find a rhythm offensively, come in averaging over 73 a game. And, Akron had such tremendous ball pressure in the first half, but, not quite as active with their hands on the ball, and they've given Chattanooga a couple good looks from deep.
Cotton off the wraparound, and he got decked as he stepped back to launch that jumper. And that Moccasins foul is going to go on McKelly Foreman. So it'll get Vershawn Cotton, 6'1", John Gross recruited freshman. Again, Hillcrest Prep School in Phoenix, Arizona. They went to the state semis last year in the state of Arizona. They went 33-6, and this young man was their leader, their point guard orchestrator. And a lot of shoots. I mean, you think about it here, a tremendous point guard play over the course of the last 6-8 years of the Keith Dambrot regime. I mean, Antono Jackson, Noah Robotham, Alex Lila before that. I mean, so Cotton with an opportunity to, continue the fine point guard play. Right now it's Malcolm Duvivier, the graduate student, Jackie, but, with Duvivier, it's only 1 year here. So Cotton's got to be ready next season.
Absolutely, and that's a big jump to go to. You go from being the man, as you said, led his program 33-win season, and then you come in here and have to, I don't want to say take a back seat, but you're trying to get used to the college game as Olajupoki's going to pick up another foul.
A strong take from Nat Dixon, no doubt about it, 6'4". And he got his own board here, got Olajupoki off his feet with contact.
Well, we've seen it twice now where they've come up with the ball fake, and have gotten Akron elevated in the air to try and block shots, and are drawing contact. So some good fundamental play there from Chattanooga on the interior.
So Nat Dixon will now look to split the pair. Jaden Sales checks in for Emmanuel Olajupoki. Well, Sales returns for John Gross. 4 points, couple of boards in 10 minutes tonight. Back to just a 6-point lead as we'll come inside the 12-minute mark on this Akron trip to the offensive end. Sales. Cotton now. And he carried the basketball. I was talking with Jackie Winden about that today, about maybe a little bit more an emphasis, a hand underneath that basketball. And Vershawn Cotton got caught there. All right, timeout inside 12 minutes. The Zips lead down to 6. Having a lot of fun here at Rhodes Arena tonight. Akron's lead is 6 with my partner Jackie Winden and our producer-director John Staley. Tip of the cap to all the crew doing a terrific job tonight. I'm Michael Regai, and for John Gross and Akron, a chance to grab their third win of the year. And after this one for the Zips here tonight, they go to Marshall and play the Conference USA squad, the Marshall Thundering Herd. Another road test on Saturday night, and it's back home for the better part of 2 weeks, a 3-week homestand against Fort Wayne, Appalachian State, and Mississippi Valley State before a trip to Hawaii. Zips with a rip away, but Duvivier gave it right back. Duvivier wanted to find a streaking Daniel Utomi and did not get that pass there. Oh, that's an excellent look. Phillips will crush that. And it was Nat Dixon who gave him the look. And this lead, Jackie, was 16. Hang on, everybody. It's down to 4.
And a good little interior pass there. All comes as a result of the turnover. A little bit careless here at the offensive end here in the second half for Akron.
Jaden Sales will rock that rim. That's with emphasis, folks, on that two-man action with Duvivier.
Well, I tell you what, Phillips, I think, at one end just kind of gave him a look, and the freshman came right back and said, here's a little dose of it too, my. Everybody flying high now as 6'10" McKinday London. Great.
Watch Sales though, Jack, huh?
What a crossover move by Duvivier to create space, and then a little step back, great pass, and Sales just zoned into the rim. How about it?
Well, that's finishing with strength. As I said, that had some extra vim and vigor to it. In traffic, too.
The game kind of has it. We talked about both coaches fired up, and, you know, both teams have really kind of elevated themselves, both in the way they're playing and then above the rim basketball. And you have to love the energy out of both programs.
Yeah, drew a roar from the Rhodes Arena throng again. Though a real strong delivery. Nat Dixon is starting to find his way to the rim repeatedly and finishing for Lamont Paris.
Well, he was 0 for 2 in the first half and not really involved, but has really tried to step up. He's been to the free throw line 4 times, 6 points to go along with 6 assists.
You told me. Making himself big. A couple of terrific ball fakes and then delivery over 6'10", McKinday London.
Well, great place to go with it. London with 3 fouls. You know, he doesn't want to pick up his 4th, so he's going to be careful with the physical Utomi in the inside.
Utomi's got 13. London threw it away. Stolen by Jamond Ivey. Ivey will push. This is Parrish to deliver that deep tray in front of the Akron bench. Off the steal by Jamond Ivey, Eric Parrish with the knockdown tray.
And it's a big shot for the freshman, but give him credit. Ivey's done a tremendous job. I mean, I think 2 games ago he would have put his head down, tried to get all the way to the rim, but the heads-up play to kick it to the corner.
Well, Nat Dixon, how about this second half? Nat Dixon is having, he's a go-to guy, Jackie. They are finding him in the offense. Not much of the first half, and now Lamont Paris gets a Chattanooga Moccasins timeout with their deficit at 7 at 56-49.
Yeah, well, you see it right now. Lamont Paris is really challenging his big man. Looked right at London, and I think it goes back to the play we just talked about where Utomi went right at him and kind of got back down. In London, I don't want to say playing soft. I think maybe trying to play a little bit cautious with 3 fouls, and he's challenging him with 9.5 minutes to play that he's got to step up and match some of the physicality inside, and then the turnover at the other end. So good timeout there by the young coach Lamont Paris to challenge his team if they've kind of willed themselves back into the ball game.
Well, the lead is 7. Malcolm DeVivier along with Eric Parrish, Daniel Utomi, Jaden Sales, and Jamond Ivey, the 5 on the floor. Well, DeVivier came off that screen. DeVivier off that hesitation. It was slapped out of bounds. 14 on the shot clock for the Zips.
Yeah, a little bit of a forced pass there. I think Akron's lucky to come away with the basketball as DeVivier tried to feed Patton. He was cutting through the lane, but you're trying to throw through 3 defenders. Not much space, and even if he catches it, I'm not sure he would have had much room to do anything with it.
6'11" Mark Kostelak will check back in. Akron still with 12 on the inbound. DeVivier now in a triple team. And got fouled. And that's going to be a reach in and a hold that's going to go on Joshua Phillips.
Yeah, I think Akron got lucky there with a little bit of a bailout foul as DeVivier picks up his dribble really with nowhere to go and coming through the trap. And if you're an Akron fan, you'll take that.
Well, the Zips running that motion offense. Look at Jamond Ivey. How sweet is that? Turn the corner. Delivered on the left side of the rim.
A little finesse. Little tuck with the basketball there. Great take by the senior.
Jamond Ivey, 4-6 on the floor. He's got 11 tonight. Playing very in control and doing exactly what John Gross likes in a half court. Malcolm DeVivier with a foul there, Jackie.
Excuse me. No, I was just going to talk about Ivey there. As you mentioned, playing within himself. And you never know what, returning and all that he was kind of wearing on his shoulders of how much he was going to have to carry the team. And, has really settled in and realized he's got some support around him, some guys that are going to be able to contribute. And doing a nice job of playing within himself this evening.
Right. Made 29 starts last year. Off that inbound, going right to the rim is David John Baptiste and got it up and down. Well, Chattanooga not going away. They cut a 16-point lead down to 4. It's at 7 right now. And we're inside 9 minutes left. Kostelak. That step-back triple wouldn't go for Utomi. Jamond Ivey with an offensive board. Offensive board for Patton, and Torrey Patton got hit with the offensive foul as he tried to muscle his way on the baseline. Taking that hit was Rodney Chapman.
Great job of extending straight up, and John Gross is not happy, and he has every right to be. That's just a quick spin move and did not go through the defense at all, and that's a tough break for Patton, who did a nice job of elevating and coming down with an offensive rebound.
Yeah, John Gross is he's going from pacing actually from the midcourt line down to the baseline and now back again. And he wants the officiated trio to understand he does not agree with that charge there. McKinday London on the bench right now. Chapman will fire that deep J just inside that three-point arc. You told me on the board, Akron. 58-51. DeVivier to launch. Came up flat. Now trying to push that floor. Well, that skip pass found Nat Dixon. Loose basketball on the deck claimed by Utomi. This is Jamond Ivey to the rack. Oh, yeah, with the left hand.
I tell you what, we saw it earlier, is athleticism, ability to change directions on a simple pivot, and the finish.
Jamond Ivey, Daniel Utomi, and Malcolm DeVivier pacing this offense. They got 39 between them. Utomi with 15, DeVivier 13. And make it 41. Ivy also with 13 on 5 of 8. That's too easy. I'm sure that John Gross will tell him. Rodney Chapman just nobody rotated Jack and showed up. He turned the corner and went right to the rim.
Well, they were chasing the whole time, and defense got caught on the high side in the post, and there was no help side as he was able to kind of loop around all the way to the rim.
60-53, Akron by 7. Very entertaining basketball game tonight. DeVivier got ripped. Into the hole is Nat Dixon, and he got fouled by Jamond Ivy. And it'll be Nat Dixon and the Moccasins of Chattanooga shooting 1 in bonus when we get back. They can cut into the 7-point Akron lead. A look toward John Gross's Akron Zips huddle. Zips led by many as 16 tonight. Their lead now is just 7. And Jackie, as we said, Akron, now they shot at the Zips at 50% in the first half, still shooting well in the second half, and still shooting well overall, 51% for John Gross's squad. But certainly the Mocs of Chattanooga have really picked it up on the offensive end this half.
They really have, shooting the 60% here in the second half, and a lot of it has been at the hands of Nat Dixon, who is 0 for 2 in the first half, but 3 of 6 here in the second half, and 4 of 4 at the free throw line as he heads back, and now 5 of 5. So that balanced scoring attack continues to kind of chip away at this for Chattanooga, and it's been effective for him here in the second half.
Nat Dixon at the free throw stripe cashes out a couple for Lamont Paris. Good to see Lamont Paris. Know he's going to do big things at Chattanooga in the Southern Conference. There's no doubt about that. We knew that when he was here for 6 years as an assistant coach.
Yeah, I shared some time with him when I was here on the women's staff, and I tell you, there's not a better guy and a better man. He's just a really good guy, and a student of the game, and I know it's going to be extremely successful.
Wow. That barely made the net ripple as he splashed that Major League 3. Daniel, you told me.
You talk about the hierarchy.
Does that have snow on it? I know it was warm today.
If this video board was any moved over to the left at all, it probably would have hit it.
Yeah, going right back to the rim, though, again, is Rodney Chapman. Nat Dixon, James Lewis, they have... we know what the message was for Lamont Paris. He told us that they made it a point to attack the rim in the second half. Not settling for much. Utomi gave it up. Jamond Ivy, tough jumper that goes. He launched it and laced it from behind the glass. Pressed on that baseline.
A little bit of a fadeaway. We've seen him shoot at both ends now on opposite corners, and he's had great touch and a good time to deliver on the fadeaway there.
Jamond Ivy with 15 tonight. Daniel Utomi with 16. Malcolm DeVivier, 13, all in the first half. McKinday London is back. And left-handed leaner wouldn't go down. Offensive board, though, as we hit 5 minutes left. Akron by 8. A spin to the baseline. Olajupoki said, I'm not going to go challenge that, as James Lewis got that power lay-in.
Yeah, with 4 fouls on the evening for Olajupoki. In just 9 minutes, he wants to stay on the floor here and wasn't going to contest.
The lead is 6. Backdoor cut. Olajupoki threw it away. Trying to save on that push to the rim. That rainbow 3 won't fall from McKelly Foreman. Stay with the Mocs of Chattanooga. Mark Kostelak is going to check back in to give Emmanuel Olajupoki with 4 personal fouls a respite. So right now, DeVivier, Utomi, Kostelak, Ivy, and Eric Parrish, the 5 on the floor for head coach John Gross. As basically a push on Mark Kostelak as he denied Rodney Chapman room to operate on the baseline.
That's a tough matchup for Kostelak to try to stretch all the way out here and guard Chapman, who's so good off the dribble and wanting to attack the rim. But, give Kostelak some credit. Freshman has really stepped up, and that's one of the things Sean Gross has talked about, is being ready when your number gets called. Only averages 2.5 minutes per game, but is up to, about 12 minutes tonight.
And one in bonus not delivered from Rodney Chapman, so Chapman doesn't whittle into this 6-point deficit. Duvivier with strength from that left side of the rim with a right-handed finishing.
Good decision there by the graduate transfer. Had a lane all the way to the rim and used his physical upper body to take a little contact and finish.
Duvivier with 15. What balance tonight for Akron.
That's what they've been searching for.
Oh, look at that teardrop. That floater is pure right there for Rodney Chapman. About 8 feet out in the middle of the paint.
And a little bit of a chess match here, back and forth. Every time Akron scores, try to increase the lead. Chattanooga has had an answer.
Yeah, Mock's not going away. Rodney Chapman leads them with 14 on the night. 3.5 left. Hang on, everybody. Akron by 6. Fun one tonight here in Rhodes Arena. You told me. Tough fadeaway. Back-heeled it. And into the hands with that defensive board of James Lewis. Now, Chattanooga can cut this down to 4, maybe to 3. Chapman with a quicks again. That'll count if it goes. Yep. How about the ad-lib there from the point guard, Rodney Chapman. Took contact. Jackie, smart thing, got it started up on the rim and got it to drop.
A little bit of a hesitation. They've really got Akron back on their heels, and Chapman just freezes the defense. Little crossover, attack, and what touch.
A homecoming of sorts for the former College of Worcester basketball standout, former Akron Zips assistant coach Lamont Paris. His basketball team was very sluggish, Jackie, in the first half, but my, how they've awakened here in half number 2.
They've done a much better job of attacking the rim as well, and I think a little bit of that has to do with their aggressiveness at the offensive end. Akron really came out of the gate strong here in the first half, and a lot of ball pressure, a lot of deflections, a lot of aggressiveness with their hands, moving their feet, and Chattanooga kind of withheld that push and has been a lot more aggressive in the second half at the offensive end.
Well, the lead stays at 4. Is not able to finish that and one was Rodney Chapman. We're underneath 3 minutes left. Michael Regai, Jackie Winden, and you. And this is Malcolm Duvivier. Kostelak with a big offensive board. The freshman out of Notre Dame Cathedral Latin and the IMG Academy. That's big. Fresh 30-second clock.
Yeah, huge rebound there. His time is precious down the stretch here, as well as positive possessions. And anytime you can extend one, you're putting your team in a favorable position.
You told me we'll lean off glass from the left side of the iron and it'll get to the free throw line. How about this balance tonight, Jack? We were saying, Daniel, you told me you'll go the line with 16 points on the night. And both Jamond Ivey and Malcolm Duvivier with 15 apiece. These three have totaled 46 of the Zips 67 tonight.
And it's been good shot selection as well for the most part. These are guys that are really moving the basketball and getting each other involved and have really stepped up and taken advantage of opportunities when they've found gaps in this defense.
You told me he's got one coming and pushes the lead back to 5 again.
And with, just 2:27 to play, I look for Akron to continue to spread the floor here a little bit offensively, but let's go inside. Let's get some of these guys touches with their back to the basket. Chattanooga just has 3 fouls this half. You can be aggressive and go at them, force them to foul you and slow the game down a little bit, and then be able to score it at the free throw line.
Daniel, you told me just calmly deposited a pair of throws. The lead back to 6 again. Give Utomi now a total of 18 on the night. Average of 23 a game. He's been brilliant in the early go to pace the Zips offense. That trap, yeah, that worked beautifully. Yes. As Utomi and Parrish came up with a rip away on Chapman.
They were baiting him to try and split him, and he, instead of doing it off the dribble, tried to make the pass through the lane, but that's what it went back to. We talked about it coming out of that timeout. The ball pressure from Akron was outstanding in the first half and came up with a big play there.
Utomi down in his office, got that jump hook, had one coming, so physical. You got to love his offensive game, Jackie.
Well, that's just it. You know, we talked about it last time he was just at the free throw line. Go right at him and force these guys to have to make a physical play on him and rise to the occasion. And talk about rising up. Utomi elevates and delivers.
Utomi with a 20 and looking for 21. He had 19 at Dayton the other night in the loss. That was coming off his career high of 32 for John Gross against Tennessee Martin in here about 10 days ago. Now the lead back to 9 again with 100 seconds left in this one. Minute 40 to go.
And a good look here out of that zone, but a nice find.
Yeah, Zips don't want that. N1 being delivered now. Nat Dixon got the bucket, got banged. They'll go to the line.
Yeah, nice job there by Nat Brown making a slashing move through the lane, and that's going to be Olajupoki's 5th foul.
Yeah, so Daniel will have to take a seat for the rest of the night as the lead is at 7. Those squad's got to get back out on the floor now. I mean, nobody called a timeout. I'll tell you what. Now that's, Jackie, I think that's being very lenient from the officials. Both coaches got a quick 15 seconds with their squads. There's no timeout called.
At least they're both taking advantage of it. There wasn't any advantage one way or the other if they're both talking to their guys, right?
It's been a strong second half for Nat Dixon as he completes a 3-point play. He's got 16. Dixon 16 and also 16 for Rodney Chapman on a night when it's been tough for their leading scorer, McKinday London, to get anything going. He's only got 1 field goal for 3. There's that pressure now. Minute 30 left. Zips by 6. 2-possession game.
Yeah, Akron really needs to value the basketball. Be patient, but you don't want to be too patient where you're going to kind of play in your heels here. You still have to score the basketball.
Utomi, Ivy, Duvivier, Kostolak, and the freshman, Eric Parrish. Kostolak wants it. Shot clock at 5. Duvivier got a launch. Tough step back. Nope. Kostolak's going to get hit for the reach-in foul, and Chattanooga's going to the free throw line.
I like the aggressiveness there, but you've got to know time and situation there as well. And, you know, maybe a foul that, you know, not much contact there, but nonetheless is going to get called down the stretch. And that's where you've got to recognize what the situation is and just sprint back on defense and defend.
Now from the free throw stripe, James Lewis Jr. can bring the Mocs of Chattanooga back to within 4 on a make here. Nope, but curled out. 5-point Akron lead, 72-67. Here's that 3-quarter court pressure. Ivy got it ripped. Chapman going glass. And this is now a 3-point, 1-possession game. As Ivy exposed the basketball and Chapman just fleeced them.
That was the exact phrase to use. Just a little bit lazy with it. Exposes it on the turn right here, and give Chapman credit for just playing on the basketball and then going right at the rim to attack. And, you know, we talked about it, Akron having to be and really value the basketball down the stretch, and just a little bit lazy with the basketball was Ivy as Chattanooga was bringing the pressure.
A look into Lamont Paris, Moccasins of Chattanooga's huddle. And John Gross. John Gross has got the whiteboard out, Exon and Owen at the other end inside that Akron Zips huddle as well. As you know, the Zips led this with Jackie by their largest lead tonight was in the first half underneath the 4-minute mark. They led it by 16. But in the second half, as we said, listen, a lot of credit to Lamont Paris. They were settling in the first half. They have made a constant. Virtually everything in the second half for Chattanooga has been off the bounce, going to the hoop.
Yeah, they've been very aggressive, and that's the counter. You know, we talked about Akron's ball pressure, and when they're going to out and force you to play on your heels, you've just got to have the strength and the tenacity to kind of rip through and go right at them, and that's exactly what they did. They got Akron in foul trouble, and were very aggressive at going at the rim, and again, that's not surprising to kind of counter as aggressive as Akron was at the defensive end.
All right, now 52.7 left. The lead is one possession at 3. What are you looking for, and what will John Gross look to find on this possession?
Well, you've got to value the basketball, but you've got to have a little bit of aggressiveness with yourselves as well, and you know, you've got to be able to go right through and break the trap. Nice job coming to possess the basketball, but
and numbers, and you told me to the smart thing, it pulled it out. Excellent job at beating that trap pressure. Centered the basketball.
Textbook. You've got to split the trap, but then be aggressive to get by that first line of defense and then gather yourself.
Now you see Chattanooga not going to foul. Shot clock at 8. That's a long-range triple. Daniel, you told me, shoot it, young fella. Big-time knockout. The lead to 6 again. And that's way off the mark from McKinday London. Listen, I got to tell you, I don't know if there's many better that are playing at a more outstanding rate early in the season than Daniel, you told me, of the Zips.
I'll tell you what, as you just see on the replay, does a great job. Just a little step back move, goes straight up, that high arcing 3, and draws nothing but net.
Daniel, you told me, with 24, and John Gross was extolling his work ethic, his want and will, and a very, very bad decision from Jamond Ivey, as was told you cannot move off that spot, and that's an inbound violation.
Yeah, he, after a made basket, you know, you can run that baseline, and after a make, you only get 3 feet to move on either side. He took off running and is going to hand the ball back to Chattanooga.
Well, hang on, there's a two-possession game. 20 seconds left. Zips got a steal. Malcolm Duvivier, and got banged with a foul. And that foul is on McKinday London. It's been a frustrating night for the big fella.
Yeah, nice play here by Duvivier to go around London. You don't want to go through that defense there and draw contact, but went around him to go secure the basketball, and a heads-up play there by the graduate transfer.
Well, back on the floor now, James Lewis for London.
And Akron's still not in the bonus.
Yeah,
so
how about that?
They've got to take care of inbounding the basketball here and being strong with it on the collection.
Ivy found the freshman for Sean Cotton. Look at that quicks. And he got fouled now. We'll go to the line with 14.6 left. Sean Cotton inserted back in by John Gross for just that reason.
I was going to say, you could tell why. He's got incredible speed and his ability to handle the basketball, so did a nice job of collecting it, being strong with it, and then also dribbling out of that initial trap and taking a couple more seconds off the clock.
So the 6'1" freshman. John Gross saying he's starting to get a real nice feel for the offense. We know he could get to the rim. It rattled out, though. Zips still have, though, a 6-point, 2-possession lead now with 10 seconds. No foul. Do not foul there. And they did, as they put a shot on Rodney Chapman. Jackie, you don't want to stop the clock.
Not when it's a 2-possession game, and nice little crossover there. And it looked like Duvivier tried to get out of the way, but just hooked him with his right arm there, and that'll just. I think I'm turning gray.
Go ahead, finish it.
Having a look at that'll drive coaches nuts. I mean, just sit down and defend and keep them in front of you, and there's no need in this situation to want to foul and send him to the lane.
And how about what John Gross told us today? He said, you know, I got a haircut, right?
He admitted, though, for what little he may need it for. So.
Yeah, I loved it. Loved it. Loved Coach Gross and how affable he is with us at shoot-arounds. That foul is going to go on Rodney Chapman, who's played a very strong floor game tonight. And the Zips have a chance to put this away at the free throw stripe now. And can bump this to a 3-possession game with only 6 seconds left.
Well, this is a guy that has kind of throttled him back into the lead. As you told me, came up with some big baskets down the stretch, being physical on the inside and taking some contact. And then how about it, stepping out and draining those long threes to extend the lead.
Averages 23 on the night, although that's off the back heel. Now, Zips don't want to foul here. 3 seconds left. Chapman's going to unload from deep. Nope. You can book this one to the Akron Zips. Zips go to 3-1 on the year. Daniel Yatomi with 24 points. Some brilliant shot making as the Zips and John Gross beat former Zip assistant coach Lamont Paris and the Mocs of Chattanooga here tonight. Hanging on after that 60-point lead got all the way down to 3.
Yeah, a lot of mutual respect there for both coaching staffs as they really had their gloves on and were out duking it out for 40 minutes. Exceptional play at both ends of the floor and some depth provided offense for the Zips and a great win.
A lot of fun, partner.